If she had tried to rule with brute force, if she had relied on soldiers instead of strategy, the Maldives would have fallen apart long before history ever noticed it. Because ruling an island kingdom is not about conquest, it's about control without chaos. Her name was Queen Khadijah of the Maldives, a ruler who governed one of the world's most fragile kingdoms, not with armies, but with intelligence sharp enough to outlast every rival. This is the story of the queen who ruled the sea by mastering the mind. The Maldives was never a kingdom of vast land or massive armies. It was a delicate chain of islands, scattered across the Indian Ocean, vulnerable and utterly dependent on trade, diplomacy, and balance. Think about it. One wrong decision could mean invasion from a foreign power, starvation from a failed trade route, or a complete internal collapse. It was a kingdom teetering on a knife's edge, and yet, Queen Khadijah ruled it, not once, but 3 separate times. This wasn't an accident. This was pure brilliance. Khadijah ascended to the throne in the 14th century, a time when the world was dominated by men who believed a woman could not, and should not, rule, especially not an island nation that relied so heavily on foreign trade and religious authority. But she knew something they didn't, a secret that defined her entire reign. Power on islands is invisible. It doesn't march with armies or sit in fortified castles. It flows through alliances, through the invisible lines of trade routes, and most importantly, through timing. And she controlled all 3. Instead of ruling with an iron fist, Khadijah ruled with precision. She didn't need to conquer new lands. She needed to maintain the delicate ecosystem of her kingdom. She cultivated strong relationships with traders from Arabia, Persia, and India, ensuring the lifeblood of her nation. Commerce flowed uninterrupted. She carefully navigated the complex world of religious politics, making sure the powerful Islamic scholars and judges supported her authority, which gave her rule immense legitimacy in the eyes of her people. And she masterfully balanced the rival factions within her own court, never letting any single family or official grow too powerful, playing them off each other with a deft hand. Every move was calculated. Every silence was intentional. She never rushed decisions, because in the fragile world of island politics, haste is fatal. A rushed judgment could sever a vital trade link or offend a powerful ally. Khadijah understood this better than anyone. Of course, her enemies, both internal and external, couldn't stand it. A woman on the throne was an affront to their world order. They tried to remove her, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. Each time she was overthrown, she didn't vanish into obscurity. She returned. And here's the most incredible part. She didn't return with violence. She didn't raise a rebel army or plunge her kingdom into civil war. She returned with legitimacy. Why? Because the people trusted her. The merchants, the scholars, the common folk, they knew that under Khadijah, life was stable, and that trust is a fortress far harder to overthrow than any physical throne. While rival rulers, usually her own male relatives, relied on fear and intimidation, Khadijah relied on competence. Think about what truly matters to people. Under her rule, trade remained stable. The food supply continued. The religious order stayed intact. Foreign powers, seeing a well-run and predictable kingdom, hesitated to interfere. Chaos never followed her rule. She understood a timeless truth of leadership. A ruler who keeps life predictable and prosperous will always outlast those who rule through intimidation and force. Stability is its own form of power. Even when she was forced from power, Khadijah demonstrated her genius. She waited, she didn't lash out blindly. She didn't provoke a war that would have torn her precious kingdom apart. She let her rivals fail on their own, and they always did. They would mismanage the economy, alienate the traders, or upset the religious establishment. Their incompetence would create the very chaos Khadijah had so skillfully avoided. And when the people grew tired of the instability, who did they look to? The one person who had proven she could keep the ship steady. Khadijah would then return, again and again, not as a conqueror, but as a restorer of order. History books rarely celebrate the rulers who keep kingdoms functioning. We have a bias for drama. We celebrate the conquerors, the builders of grand monuments, the generals who win bloody battles. But Khadijah did something far more difficult, and arguably more important. She ruled an impossibly fragile island nation without letting it break. During her long and interrupted reign, there were no major invasions, no devastating civil wars, no economic collapse, just stability, earned through pure intelligence and an unmatched understanding of her people and her world. Queen Khadijah proved something incredibly powerful, a lesson that still resonates today. You don't need massive armies or overwhelming force to rule effectively. You need understanding. She ruled the tides of commerce instead of troops. She managed people instead of provinces. She mastered time instead of territory. Her power wasn't in what she could destroy, but in what she could preserve. And that, ultimately, is why she survived, why she triumphed, and why her legacy as the queen who ruled the sea endures. If you enjoyed this story of a truly remarkable and overlooked leader, please make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more stories like this, and comment your favorite topic or historical figure you want me to cover next. Your support helps bring these forgotten queens and their incredible histories back to life. Thanks for watching.